This is funny. All right, what's going on, people? This is really interesting. And did I make sure? Yes, it is ready. I have what I want. Give people a few seconds to roll off in here. Uh, let's see. Got some notes here. And yeah, this is going to be real interesting how this happens to go down. All right, I'll keep that out. Um, Just give you a few announcements. I've got some emails. People like, hey, what are your books? What are your books? There's actually a lot of products now. I didn't really notice that until I started putting this stuff together. So if you're on the email list, as soon as you sign on the email list, you get a product list. But I will go over the main stuff. The best thing going right now is 30 days to 2,500 bucks. You will make money. You do the exercises, you do the work, you will make money. After that is YouTube, how to make killer money with YouTube. That stuff's going down. I've got all kind of packages and bundles and everything. Either you can, the best thing to do is get everything, because essentially what I'm about to talk about, which would be Hustlers University Life. What I'm doing is putting together a curriculum. Everything is not out yet. Just I went out and put out the most important stuff is how do you make money? Everyone wants to know how to make money. So I put that stuff out first. And then there's going to be other sales courses, social media courses. All that stuff's going to come under the umbrella of Hustler University Life, which is paid. There's Hustler University. It's free. I'm always putting stuff there, having communications. There's a robust community of 500 plus people who all want to get their hustle on. Right there, get their hustle on. I have to move it. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that. Yeah, that right there. Get their hustle on. I don't know what color it is. Let's see. Can we change the color? Because I'm playing around with new stuff. Let's see. And no, it's not doing that. But we'll just do that. we'll. Okay, that's there. I don't know what color you're seeing, but I'm gonna do this. I heart hustle. Yeah, I am having fun with this stuff. Okay, yeah, heart hustle, love and hustling. All right, Hustler University Life is going on. Essentially, what's going to happen, and let me just let you know what's going on, because people are like, what the hell? There's several different courses going on for the same time and for a following reason. Um, I've been in a position of I'll come up with a concept and I want to put it out, and then stuff will change. And YouTube threw me a curveball. So how to make killer money with YouTube course is just say it's perpetual. It's every week or every other week, some's going to be in there to help you facilitate and make YouTube a better, to make money with YouTube. That's what this is going to be about. 30 days, 2,500. Same thing. Well, actually, that course is completed. I got to say Hustler Camp, the Hustler University Life. There will be more courses coming. There will be a lot more courses coming, because essentially what's going to happen is the rest of the year, and this is July, what is this today? The day is the 10th, July 10th. So every week except for the last 2 weeks of the year, something's going to drop in one of those courses, whether it's a YouTube course, whether it's Hustlers Camp, whether it's Hustler Mindset Project Strengthening Your Mind, whether it's there's a lot of stuff, because essentially I'm putting together a cafeteria of courses to help you make money in the new social media age. Essentially doing what I've done. I've used social media. And just talk about social media. Everyone thinks you have to do everything. No, you don't. Try everything and see what feels most organic to you. I like YouTube, Facebook. I am starting to like Twitter. Part of the problem is, if you're on one of these platforms, each one has its own little rules and guidelines and tribes and trolls. So you have to play by those rules or you will not be effective. So I've started doing some stuff differently on Twitter, and it's becoming actually kind of fun. But just pick a few, do it for a month, and then see what really works for you. Now let's talk about the 50 laws of hustling. Power on your life. It's really different. When I was putting this together, because I started earlier, and if you bought the first version, you should have got the link to what's going on now. And like I said, it's the pre-order. The first 25 laws are locked and loaded. Tomorrow at like 4:45 that drops, so you'll get that. Plus, there's going to be some other material. And what we're going to do, just to let you know, is there's going to be a lecture on each law. There'll be the law on the audiobook, and then there'll be a lecture workshop, which is if you sign up on the Gumroad account, whether you can make the live lecture or not, you will get the recorded version because Gumroad loves me. And I can put a lot of stuff on that platform, and I'm going to wear it out. So 50 Laws of Hustling is essentially what I termed as, I guess, Scheme Incorporated, because back then my mind wasn't really, it wasn't right. My mind wasn't right. It was just, I thought that not having a job and actually doing some stuff on, there was something wrong with it, you know, and many people still feel that way to the day. So essentially what the 50 Laws of Hustling about is a in-depth discussion about reframing your mentality and applying that new knowledge to the world. Because there's certain things like if you notice in law school, there's tons of ethic courses in business ethics, because you cannot have the facilitation of a new methodology that go unchecked. Because what is the term? Absolute power absolutely corrupts, something like that. And that's what happens. So in part of building your online business or doing these things, there's some other stuff that you need that many people don't really think that's that important. Because when I first came online in 2009, I could have easily just went, storage auctions are really easy. And I would have made a ton of money. I would have made a ton of money really, really fast. I would have been like, just whipping that frenzy. And after everyone that bought that shit found out that storage auctions were not easy, storage auctions were a pain in the ass, storage auctions were hard, I'm the guy that put up the video like I lost $1,000 buying a unit to let you know what you were getting yourself into. And believe it or not, that video of my loss actually helped me sell a lot of books because I was, you know, being real with people. And that's what 50 Laws of Hustling is going to be about. It's going to be very, very strange to some people. It will talk about sales. You know, that's the reason for the lectures. And that's the reason for the feedback. And that's the reason. There's going to be a lot that goes with this. So the first 25 laws are done, and the other 25 are done, but I'm not releasing them yet for a reason, because we're going to discuss this stuff. There's going to be a lectures, and then, bam, the other second laws are going to drop. Other set of 25 are going to drop. And it's going to be controversial stuff. I think I could be wrong. You may be like, hey, this is good stuff, Glenda. This may not. And this is going to go on for a while because, like I said, at least if you buy the big package, which is $400, which gets everything, you're locked in forever and ever on that, you will, and I'm going to change that because this is what's going to happen. And I'm going to lay some stuff out for you. I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen. And, you know, people still go ahead and just like, yeah, I'm not listening to this. This is July 10th, right? And what's going to happen is okay, I hear someone in the background. I see Jake hanging out.
Hey, what's up, man?
This is funny. And someone's in the background talking about stuff. Hold on a second.
Yeah, that's TV probably.
All right.
Pause it. There you go. Sorry about that.
No problem. So since you're here, this, you know, since you're part of it, this was happening. A lot of stuff is going to drop the rest of it. I mean, it's going to be a ton of information. A lot of sales stuff. And also, I am moving away from eBay and Amazon. They're still great. You know, I think Amazon's great. I really do. But I want to ask you something. How many people have really who become billionaires from eBay and Amazon other than the folks who own them? It ain't happening. Yet there's a lot of stuff. So moving, and there's going to be just the sketch. There's going to be a creation course. There's going to be an ebook course, an audio book. There's all kinds of courses are coming, but I can't. There's so much information that I've got to kind of put together a cafeteria, and I will go on to, and actually at some point there will be a Gumroad course, because Gumroad is allowing me to do stuff that I couldn't do on another platform, because you can sell something, you can put it out there, and then you can turn around and revise it and instantly give it back to the people because I'm moving a lot of stuff around. The only thing that's on Facebook is Hustle University, and that's probably be the only Facebook group because Facebook is distracting as hell. I've noticed since I cut back, like if you're a friend of mine, you've noticed I have not posted shit on my personal page in months, and I can see the productivity increase because you get there and then there's a cat over here. Next thing you know, you're looking at whales, and 2 hours have gone by. So I really pulled back off of that, but ton of stuff's gonna happen. Like I think I sent the link out, or if I don't send it out today, I'll send it out tomorrow because it's always fun to see people like walking around in their house and everything. 'Cause it looks good. Like, okay, what's going on? So
Now I'm just a profile.
you're just a profile. Look more like a predator. It's really funny. So you're full time now, because you started off in the storage auction group.
Unfortunately, at the moment, I am full-time making part-time money.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right. Is that because of the summer or?
Yeah, I mean, sales just drop. And I think this year has been worse for pretty much everybody.
I've heard a lot of people say that in groups and stuff that I don't really think the economy at large has improved because housing prices are being propped up by institutions buying shit. It's not average people buying these houses in certain neighborhoods, but institutions propped up housing prices, and I think this. I don't know which bubble's going to pop. The housing bubble, which bubble's going to pop first? The housing bubble or a student loan bubble? And with the summer, this is what happens. A lot of people who have kids, their disposable income goes down because the kids are out of school, they have to do stuff, they're going on vacation. And I actually heard a lady say in the store that, she couldn't get wine because the kids were out. It's like, when the kids are in school, she's like, she speaks nothing of buying this stuff, but with them out, and she said they were eating her out of the house and home. So this is one of the reasons that I'm putting all this stuff out, because I know what's coming. It's middle of July almost. 6 weeks, a large number of kids will be back in school. 2 weeks after that, parents will have more money. They'll start spending. And then what happens is all of the garage sales stop. The inventory drops. You can't find stuff, and demand goes up. And it's a weird cycle because I tell people every summer, stock up, overbuy, get as much stuff as you can because it's going to flip so quick. There's like, people like sales are going up, and it'll do this. It'll arc up September, October, November, maybe the first weeks of 2 weeks of December, then bam, it drops again, except if you're selling online. Amazon stuff's going to rock. Boo, eBay stuff's going to rock until pretty much May.
I am loving the ease of FBA.
I mean,
oh my gosh.
I mean, it's great if you got the stuff, because what I'm looking at, because I'm a member of one group, I was a member of another one, and I see some that Amazon is like, if you got in like 6 months ago or a year ago, you're good because they're shutting shit down. they're gating people out, and it's like it's amazing what's happened in really the last 6 months. But it's great. Because one of the things that we're going to talk about, because I'm working with somebody, hopefully we can get this together, is to create your own product, not like white label, but something that you can create yourself and ship to FBA and not have to worry about, say your creation cost, just throw a number out, it's $5, but you can sell it for $30, something like that. That's going to be a little bit more sustainable, and it also. Have you experienced Amazon like getting your stuff, or you just selling used stuff? Because I know with the used stuff, it's a different ball game versus just doing. On
Amazon, I pretty much stick with new stuff.
Oh, really? Okay, you don't.
I mean, like maybe video games. Like video games, I'll do used.
So you're doing retail arbitrage?
Yeah, I try to. Parentheses on the try.
I mean, I did it for a little while, and then I was looking at what do I need to focus on? Because everyone has to ask themselves, what do you need to focus on in your business? Because it was like it's very time intensive in the beginning. It is extremely time intensive, and I was like, okay, what are you going to do? Retail arbitrage and help your kid out, or are you just going to focus on your stuff? So I went ahead and went back to what was working for me and left it at that, because what's happening in the next 2 years, anybody's going to be able to create a product. Like did you see the stuff that's happening on Kickstarter? Like the guy, someone posted in the group today about the coolest, this cooler that they were only trying to get $50,000 and they got almost 1 million, and there's still a lot of this, 50 days to go. So yeah, it's already funded, and I have a Kickstarter idea, but instead of just blowing my Kickstarter currency, I'll just wait. I may wait a year or two, but there's so much that's going on in this space with YouTube, Kickstarter. Facebook has changed a little bit again. Facebook is allowing stuff to get greater reach, because at one point they were blocking it. You were only getting maybe 10%. You post something up, only 10%, 20% of your friends will see it. Now I post stuff up, and I know I post up something like 900. It reached 900 people, so they're changing that stuff. And that's one of the reasons that the courses have to be fluid, because it changes ridiculously fast. It really does. So I'm just going to put the core stuff in there. Like, now the 50 laws of hustling are totally different. That shit's not going to change, because I've been using that stuff for years, and it's really, really helped me. And like I said, the beta is like it's $20, and after tomorrow I'm going to rank it up, because when we start these lectures, it's going to get real intense, because it opens it up from, it's kind of what I started with in Pimping Craigslist, talking about buyer profiles, because when I put that up, people are like, oh, he's obscene, he's saying this about these ethnicities that I mean, year in and year out, I had the same shit from the same ethnic groups. I mean, I don't believe I was stereotyping. I was just telling the truth that, hey, if someone named Patel calls you, you can really expect some serious negotiating. If you're asking for $100 and the name is Patel, they may offer you 10 with a straight face. If their last name is Lopez, hey, 50% on right off the rift, and we'll walk away and not buy. And I think I was one of the first people to actually go there and say that stuff, because later on, there's a lot of folks who were saying, damn, he was right, because it's amazing. And we're going to talk about psychology of buying. We're going to talk about psychology of selling, because, there's a lot of people. I actually watched Storage Wars like 2 weeks ago for the first time in like maybe 2 years. And the shit was funny, because they were doing some stuff where Brandon was getting a tattoo, and there's this guy with this high-pitched voice with this blonde that actually they don't look like they're really a couple, and I'm like, is this a TV thing? Because I don't see chicks with guys like him. Then again, he has money. I don't know. And it cracked me up, because it was funny, because I'm so far removed from that, because I've talked to a lot of people. Storage auctions, you can still make a gang load of money, but it's nowhere near as easy as it was as 2009, 2010, 2011, because the newbies haven't come out, but the core veteran group there's so many new people who came out and stayed with it that, prices are just going to be high going forward. And people are buying storage units from online auctions, which cracks me up. I would never do it. I've never done it. I cannot throw stones at it. But I just know what happens at live auctions. I can only imagine what happens on the online auction. And people are doing it. I don't know how it's working out, but
I've heard of a few people doing it, and a few people say they love it. Like, I was talking to one guy, and he says, yeah, man, I can sit at home and bid on these units, and I don't have to deal with everybody. And yeah, he loved it.
Is he making any money?
He looks like it, but he always had money. So
see, that's another thing, because there's someone I know who used to come out and he would like blow money and everything, but he started off with $1 million. It was a little different ball game with him, because I don't look at people who already have money doing certain things, because they may have won it, inherited, married into it. So that's a whole different thing. I look at people like Henry Ford, who started with nothing. To a degree, Bill Gates didn't really start with nothing. I mean, it's close, But I mean, I think his mother was on the board of a 500 Fortune 500 company.
Oh,
So
wow.
he didn't like start off in a low. I mean, he went to a boarding school, private boarding school. So it lets you know his people had a little money. But he did build something that didn't exist, like Steve Jobs. And I think that's going to be the thing, because I think I saw a driverless car on the highway. I'm not sure. I couldn't. I looked. I couldn't see anybody in there. I don't know if it didn't have any names on it. It had the thing up there on top of it. I don't know if it's supposed to, but it was on the freaking highway. Can you imagine 10 years from now or sooner, we're going to have people, you're going to call a cab and it's going to come get you and there's not going to be anybody in there.
That's freaky.
I think for people who want to go out and get blitzed, it's awesome. You can go out and just get tore up and then, the car picks you up and takes you home and you don't kill anybody.
Right.
We're going to have that. Uh, yeah, 17 years. We're going to see that. But I was watching, someone posted this about this TED talk about this guy. I can't think of his name. I can find it real quick. But he was talking about that going forward, when we learn stuff, we're going to take a pill. And it was just like, okay, this is so matrixy. This is just 100. This is the matrix right here. That's how we're going to learn. We're going to ingest knowledge.
That's
He picked it, he put it. His name is Nicholas Neaponte, and he said around 30 years. So because he's like 70, he said he won't be here. But that's where we're going with this kind of stuff. I don't really know what society's going to look like in the next 15 years. I mean, I'm a little concerned about some things because we have, and this is one of the reasons the Hustler Life University and those other stuff that, how you can get something and start making some money and taking care of yourself. I just see we're going to have two distinct classes: people with money, people without. And people with money will not be, billionaires. It'll be the guy who has a house, his car is paid for, and then people down the road who are living in tents. I see that. I mean, unless something really, really changes, because the number of folks with degrees who are not working, who are making enough money to escape their parents' house is growing. It's not getting smaller. It's growing. I know a lot of people, someone's talking about that on Facebook today. It's like, 30-year-old son was still at home with her, came back 3 times. I was just like, yikes. I couldn't do that. But I think hustling is going to change dramatically. I got a bet with some people that 7 years, I guess 6 years and 6.5 years from now, it's going to be extremely hard to find a deal in a thrift store. Because at some point, someone's going to go, you know what? Why don't we just hire someone to list all this shit on eBay and Amazon?
Oh, it's happening now.
Oh yeah, I know in certain parts. I mean,
Yeah, I walked
Goodwill
into
done it for
Goodwill and I
years.
saw a hat for $40.
Yeah, it's
I'm like,
coming. And
in Goodwill? Please.
it's coming, man. It's coming. But this is the other thing that people disagree with me. We're going to run into a point where people are not going to have all this excess. Years and years in the storage auction business, I would buy a unit and everything would be new, or I would get a girl's unit and she would have like several brand new shirts, dresses, shoes, never worn. People are not going to have the money for that type of excess. If you're not wearing it, you're not using it, you're not going to have it, and that's going to directly impact the used goods market. Everyone's like, no, it's never going to happen. There's always going to be all this stuff, because the people that have the most stuff right now are the baby boomers, and they're dying off.
Honestly, like I said before, I think that's happening now because the people who are in similar situations where they're just now starting to start stuff, they can't afford to have extra.
No.
I mean, I can't afford to go out and have extra stuff, if not, and reinvest and, have money for stock and this and that. No, if it's extra, I want that money.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people in that situation because you know what the average income in this country, not the household income. They'll tell you it's like 50,000. People like think, half the country. No, it's $35,000 a year. I looked it up. That is average income. 35,000. Let's break that down. After taxes, that's like $24,000. It's $2,000. That's and that's not. It's like $1,000 every 2 weeks,
Right.
or if you get paid every week, $500 a week. Yeah, you can't. I was making 28 grand in 1991,
Right. When
which
things were cheaper.
cheaper, different tax rate. In 1991 there was a recession. Only reason that I was able to get out of the military and go to work is because I worked in healthcare.
Right.
I got right out of the military. I had jobs waiting on me, but this time I know two nurses and a respiratory therapist, and they're telling me that healthcare is being impacted. I had two nurses tell me in certain places, because you're here, it's like as a nurse, you'll always have a job. In certain places, if you graduate from nursing school and you do not have experience, you can't get hired. That's never happened before. I remember when I worked at Northside Hospital, the nurses would come in, they would have like a 6 freaking week orientation. First 2 weeks, just classes and stuff and lunches, and then they would go through this thing, and then they would go to the floors, and they're not doing that. It's like if you can't come in and do what you need to do, they're not hiring you. So I expect, and this is just a prediction, that the nursing field is going to experience what happened to lawyers. 15 years is going to happen to nurses, because I'm looking at all the people in nursing school, all these nursing schools they cropped up. There's going to be a glut, because two things are going to happen. There's going to be a glut of nurses, and healthcare is going to become more automated. I remember a lot of procedures that are now outpatient procedures. You go in, you have surgery, you go back home. I remember they used to bring people in the hospital, and they used to stay 3 days to 2 weeks for those same surgeries years ago. You're going to see more of that. And you're going to have a huge supply of nurses, healthcare aides, all these workers, and less jobs. I see it coming, but you saw it here first. But that's going to be part of the 50 laws of hustling, like paying attention to current events, because a lot of people are like, hey, why are you talking about this? That has nothing to do with making money. Yes, it does. When we have certain policies that happen, because I will tell you, right now, the environment is rich for you to own a business. I mean, everything is orchestrated, geared towards you owning a business. Everything. And I hear this stuff like, I hear some small business owners who are just like complaining. And I'm just like, do you have the same information that I do?
Probably not.
Because, talking about the tax rate and stuff, I was like, really? What kind of accounting do you have? Because there's so many legal ways to do this stuff. Legally. I mean, it's not crazy. It's not illegal. I think some people like the fact that they pay a lot of taxes. I think that they like the fact that they do it so they can boast about it and bitch about it and just go on about it. But we'll talk about a whole bunch of stuff, because I see, because you've been around since the beginning. You remember when I was talking about all the folks on YouTube? You remember all the early YouTube hate before there was a picker community? Because really, there was no picker community or hustler community. There was nothing. There was nothing in 2009. There was Will, Terminal 99. He's been on forever. Dan Dotson had a channel up with some auctions. There was maybe 27 dudes or a few chicks talking about that stuff, which is nothing on the internet. Now, you have people that are on there, and I made a prediction maybe this time last year, and it happened. There were people who were like, Glenda's charging for information. Blah, blah. Then they turn around and they start charging for information. It's
Right,
like,
right.
one of them was like, I'll never charge for information. They turned around and did it. And he got called on it. That shit was hilarious. I mean, I think it's just funny that, people can be honest. If you want to make money online selling information, just say that's what you want to do. You don't have to lie about it. You don't have to play games. And I also learned that, and this is one of the things about that's going to be in the 50 laws of hustling, is not trying to take people down. Because, if you look at the 50 laws of power, all these games that operate at a high level, the internet game is so many different pockets of power. It's freaking ridiculous. You could be really popular, because a lot of people don't know what's going on overseas. There's so many YouTubers who don't even have American fans, who are making killer money because they're popular in Argentina, they're popular in Spain, they're popular, and that's the next big thing, getting stuff international. Because I talked about it, and I'm investigating moving to Paris, like for a year.
Really?
Yeah, I put that out in the group. Actually, I have me a friend who's here in Atlanta, who just moved here from France, and who's schooling me on a lot of stuff. And I'll tell you, you need somebody on the ground. You really do. Because the thing is, wherever I don't have to be here to do this. You know, and that's one of the reasons I could not go back to storage auction business because, you know, yeah, it's more money, but it's more, it's a lack of freedom. You know,
Right.
it's a
Restrict.
big, yeah, it's a big lack of freedom. Whereas this stuff, and I said it before, once I get the ebook thing together, because everyone's putting out publishing information on how to sell on Amazon. I don't really have most of my stuff on Amazon yet. I'm going to put it there because it's just good to have it there, but I'm not going to promote it because I am selling everything I make pretty much off Amazon. And at some point, a lot of people are going to realize that, hey, you know, why am I going to do this? It's like if you have your stuff on Amazon and someone finds it and they buy it, that's cool. But if you're
Right.
like promoting your shit on Amazon and then you're sending traffic to Amazon, they may buy your book or they may buy someone else's book. But if you advertise them and have them come to your place, either they're gonna buy your stuff or not. Because I learned that lesson with Amazon. I love Amazon. I think they're great. Like I said, I will put the books there, but they will go there last versus first. And make no mistake about it, there's a lot of authors who are making killer money on Amazon. Killer money. And I think that will increase, but I'm a different kind of cat. Yeah. It's
Do
kind
you
of fun.
think it is just as doable for people who don't already have the following?
To do YouTube?
No, to do an ebook and release it, sell more of it off of Amazon rather than on.
Actually, no. Anyone that's writing a book, I would say whatever they want to write about, they start marketing it now. Because when I was looking for information on how to sell books, I didn't look at authors. I started looking at internet marketers because there was this guy on this podcast. I can't remember it, but he came out with a book and he sold like 6,000 copies the first week. And I was just like, what the hell did he do? And then they kept talking, and then I did a little research, and this guy has an email list of 50,000 people. And I was like, oh, that's how he did it. Because it was just like, what did he do? Was this something special? I was like, oh, that's one of the reasons that, you know, everything I talk about building your tribe, you know, communicating, building your group. Because the thing is, if you can get you a few hundred people to begin with, that's plenty. If you look at Ann, see Ann Save,
Yep.
she's got what I think 12 books on Amazon, and I have not seen her complain about money in most of the year. I mean, she actually said that her Amazon money was doing better than her eBay sales, and she just does eBay for fun now. I mean, if you put a bunch of books on Amazon on a certain topic, you'd be amazed at what some people are making. I know a guy that has some fitness books. They've been up for years. He makes about 6-7 grand a month from those books.
Wow.
But you know, he had the following. He was a fitness trainer. He did all this stuff. But yeah, that's a good question. If you get the following first, because there was an author, she had a blog and she wrote this novel, but her blog had been out for 5 years and she had all these people. So the minute she dropped her book and she's like, I'm writing a book, she let people know. She built up anticipation. So when she put it on Amazon, everybody from her blog went straight to Amazon and bought the book. And then it pushed her up the ecosystem. Because a lot of people are caught up in that. I'm gonna write a book. I'm gonna put it on Amazon, and I just laugh because that means nothing. I mean, I've been doing this 5 years, and I am so far from being a household name. It's ridiculous. I mean, 99.99.99.99 people in the United States don't know who the hell I am. And you know that's how hard it is to get discovered. I mean, that's the whole thing. So if you build your tribe over time, that's just going to be better because I've seen people who've built garage sale books on Facebook. I'm not garage sale books, garage sale pages or resale pages on Facebook, and I know someone they make all their money from their Facebook page. Make every
Wow.
dime. Now he's moving furniture, he's moving knickknacks and stuff, but he makes all his money from his Facebook page. Because he listened to me. He went out and bought a bunch of stuff that women likes. He has shit posted up on Pinterest. They see it on Pinterest and they come to his Facebook page. That's all the social media he does. He does no Twitter or nothing. He just does Pinterest and Facebook. But he knows his audience. He knows what they like, and that's what he sells. And a lot of people get caught up in, I'm going to go out and buy a Yeti, and if the world doesn't buy this Yeti, they're pissed off. You know, people don't want the Yeti. You know, they want like chocolate or something. And that's a big, big lesson because there were so many things that me and my partner got into about in the storage housing business because yeah, it was worth because I mean I was the guy selling microwaves. You can get $10 anywhere else for $1, but we would get 20 or 30 of those things a week. We
Right.
couldn't sell them that fast at $10. Just couldn't. So only the like really crispy, clean, really nice ones went to the 10, 20, $30. And if it was any damage, it had a dent, scratch on it, or it was just cheap, like if it was $29 brand new, it went straight to the dollar section. And I had a lot of resellers come in there, and they would buy 100 pieces at a time. I mean, that section was pretty much a wholesale section. I was a wholesaler there for a lot of people, but we were getting that shit so quick. I mean, our dump bill went way down when we started the dollar section because you get new stuff, then you want to clear it out, then you want to put it back in. But that's just all part of the hustling life and how it can free you because I think for your situation, you're married with kids, so that's a
Right.
whole different ball game because
And it's tough to reinvest when you're married with kids.
I would say yeah, I would say definitely because I don't know if you watched the video. I was just talking like to kids the other day, like wait to get married and wait to have kids, and it's not because marriage is horrible and kids are bad. It's just it severely limits what you can do for a while because you just had a brand new baby and you're sitting there talking about I'm going to the auctions, I'm gonna blow 5 grand. Your wife gonna look at you like really, really, you are.
But I can get this new swing I want. Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't be so bad if the tax rate wasn't so bad because I mean I know people making 50 grand a year, right? And they only bring home like 2,200 a month or 2,500 a month. That's only 30 grand of their money, and it wasn't all taxes, but like health insurance and all this other stuff. I mean, you get two people both making 50 and they bring home like 5 grand a month. That's 60,000. You can do some stuff with that, but even at that level, you still have to be careful. You really have to be careful. And it's just,
Especially if you want to save anything.
yeah, and that's one of the reasons that I'm doing all these courses and things because I looked at what happened. I've got a few friends who are much older than me, and I looked at what happened to some of them's retirement. Um, a lot of them got hurt bad to the point that they were thinking about going back to work. The one guy, he actually picked up some consulting jobs because his income went down like 38% because his portfolio got hit so hard. And the rule of thumb is he was only taking off like 4% a year, 6%. But when it went down, he's like, if I start taking out these big chunks, I'm not going to get what I'm getting. It's going to go down really fast. And he's like, I may outlive my money. So he went ahead and started consulting. And that's one of the reasons that, I'm doing what I call perpetual retirement. I mean, I'll always do something because there's so many books that I want to write that I haven't even gotten to. I mean, it's just like, I might get to some of that stuff in 10 years. I mean, seriously, because that's where you make your money. And this, what I'm doing with this is what happened in the dollar section. Put out an ebook, $10, pre-order, really cheap.
Right.
Then $19 for the course, and get in early and you get everything. And a lot of people are like, I'm gonna wait. And one person wrote me like the other day, hey, it was $10 4 weeks ago. Can I get that deal? I was like, nope.
Come on, please.
I'm telling you, they don't come as much as they used to because I think a lot of people realize what's going on. It's just best to get in early because there will be more ebooks, there'll be more audiobooks, and more classes because, by the end of this year, I just want to have a really big body of educational materials to teach people how to make money, have a better life because the whole thing is it's hard to have a good life being broke. I've heard this stuff. It's like, hey, no money, no problems. I'm like, okay, you got a lot of problems if you're broke in this country. You have a lot of problems, a lot of problems. I mean, just simple stuff like it's fruit is not cheap. The good stuff you need to eat. I got to go to the farmers market to get some stuff because it's just those things. But I think for me, the big thing is time. it's a real big thing right now. My time is really, really big because I don't know if I could ever get a job again. I really don't at this juncture.
Something happens to you when you work for yourself for so long, and the thought of going back to work for someone else makes me physically ill. Like, I need to right now, most likely, but the thought of doing it makes me ill. So I
Well, I mean,
work harder at what I'm doing.
you probably need to add another source of income, like this is something I helped the guy. Like, all right, this is what I've been doing just for bullshit. Whenever I see some stuff on the side of the road, I've had people look at me crazy. Someone had put out this really nice butcher block table set and two chairs.
Nice.
I picked that sucker up, threw it in the back of Thor, put it on Craigslist. It was a quick $80.
Right.
I had it at 100. No one was biting. I lowered it. I mean, I picked it off the side of the road. I've probably made $600 in the last month doing that stuff. Just not looking for it. Just if I see it, load it in there, and I don't have a bunch of stuff in my vehicle. So start looking for, so just to the goal of I want to get $1,000 a month worth of free shit, and just ask people because go through the Craigslist course because that's what we're talking about, and I'll probably start posting pictures and stuff as I do this other thing because this is one of the things that hit me when I was putting this together. There's so much stuff that I want to put out that putting it out one at a time is kind of limiting because I can put out a chunk of stuff and people can like start doing stuff because I'm like 50, not 50 laws of hustling, but 30 days to $2,500 taught me a lot. I put that course out. I thought people would do it like in 30 days. It took most people on average 60 to 70 days to get through the whole course. Most people. Some people who started on the free and then bought it have still this 120, maybe 160 days now. They still haven't finished it. So that taught me that it doesn't all have to come out. Actually, a little bit like here's a spoonful here, here's a spoonful here, here's a spoonful here, and then eventually the course gets created. But those people who have really busy lives can like start doing stuff. I'm going to do the Power of Six course at one point. Like I said, it's a ton of stuff. It's a ton of stuff. And the bad part is I can't get someone to help me do this because it's all in my head. That's the problem. It's all in my head. And I've tried, and it has become frustrating because I have to sit there and do the thing that I would do with y'all and put it out with them to teach. And it's just like this is actually slower than me doing it myself. And that was really strange. But a lot of the stuff I built myself. These little tricks like the pimping Craigslist. I came with all that stuff over years of hustling. It just really, it still works. Some of that stuff still works. Craigslist got rid of the photo pimp, but you can do 26 photos with Craigslist now. And a lot of people don't take advantage of that. And if you are slick, you can put text in the photo. And a lot of people are not taking advantage of that.
Very hard.
So there's a lot of stuff you can still do. I've actually figured out a way to I put up this really ugly ad. I mean, it was highly offensive. And I figured out, I know it's been getting flagged, and this sucker's still up. So I figured out ways not to get flagged. That's the stuff we're talking about because that kills you. It really, really kills you.
I went through that.
I know this on my pickup stuff, the stuff I've been picking up off the side of the road. That stuff really doesn't get flagged like it used to. I remember I would put one thing up and it would just get flagged. I think because people were keying in on my phone number. But since I'm not selling as much stuff on Craigslist as I used to, I'm not really getting it. I know someone that sold a Louis Vuitton purse on Craigslist. Real for $1,200.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you present the stuff right, because see, what she did was I got the receipt, I have the box, I got the dust bag, and I will meet you at Louis Vuitton and you can see if it's real. They'll tell you right there, and we can do the deal right there. And that's how she sold it. The purse was $2,200 brand new. She got in a pinch and she sold that stuff. So that was a Craigslist deal. No eBay fees, none of this. Well, it didn't get here on time. It's not. I am not. Because the purse was going for like about $1,200-$1,300 on eBay. So she really can't. I mean, she got $1,200 bills from this girl. And that's one of the things I'm pushing, because in this new world, you know, with eBay now, they're narking on you. I remember for years, nobody knew how much money you were making for eBay or PayPal. Nobody knows. There's still some platforms that still don't report your ass. A lot of people don't know that. That is huge. It won't be like that forever, but it's really, really changing. But it's kind of funny. Like I said, 50 Laws of Hustling's dropping tomorrow, and there'll be another course next week. That's why I keep telling people, you want to get on the big special, because as this thing gets bigger and there's more information, it's just going to get more expensive. But I looked at what happened, because I've got a guy. I don't know if I can. I don't have my phone, but one of the guys that went through 30 days to $2,500. He sent me a text today. For the month of June, he did $49,000 for the month of June. I'm just sitting there like, and that came from the 30 days to 2,500. Because some people are struggling, and I think the big problem is they don't have a business. They're looking for what the hell to do, and I think that's why eBay and Amazon is so popular, because everybody wants to do Amazon, and I see eBay and Amazon getting harder and harder. It could be me. I'm not there,
No,
but
it's getting harder. They are making it so hard for the buyer to get scammed, but so easy for the seller to get scammed, and you just got to really watch what you're doing and put more time into it, which is not what I like, because I like to have more free time.
well, I mean, just seriously, go through the Craigslist thing and try to hustle up some free stuff, because some more modules are going to drop there. Because like I said, I learned from 30 days to 2,500, just the whole course, that a lot of people actually, I think, completed 30 days to 2,500 because it was an event and it was every day, versus, folks who are just going through it. Because I look at the stats and it's just funny. Because I had someone that bought like a lifetime, and I moved everything off Facebook like weeks ago, and I got this email. It's like, hey, where's the course? They haven't even been looking at the course for weeks. I said, it's over here, dude. So you get that. And that's one of the reasons I'm doing Gumroad, because it can always be free. Well, they can always have access forever and ever. I don't have to worry about it. Sign up, your own Gumroad, stuff gets loaded, you get sent to it, you can download it, and it's just much cleaner. Because I looked at building a website and doing all this fancy stuff. I got a quote of 15 grand for what I wanted.
Really? 15?
Well, the thing is, it was going to have to do a lot of stuff. It was going to have to hold a lot of video, because I wanted to host a video. I wanted to be secure, and it was a lot to it. When you just throw up a website for information, that's real cheap. When you throw up a website that has to host video, has to have a checkout, a lot of other things come out. Like if you're doing your own checkout, you've got to be in compliance with these credit card rules. That's why PayPal or Square is so much better, because they handle that stuff, and you never actually have the customer's credit card. But when you get the customer's credit card, you're responsible for that information. That's why every time, when Target got breached and everybody freaked out, they could have got sued. Mm-hmm. That's why they moved so quick, because I had 2 credit cards I used at Target, and both of my credit card issuers just sent me a new card. They just canceled and sent me a new card. Because it's just that important. So I don't want to mess with that. I really don't, because if you're looking at keeping your shop small, there's certain things you just don't need to mess with. I don't really want to be messing around with a merchant account or looking at this stuff. I really don't. So I actually said thanks for the quote. And then I had another quote of doing some stuff, because I looked at the Facebook. It was going to be like a Facebook style where people can comment and everything would be hidden. But I've noticed something with Facebook groups, and you're in a lot of them. You've noticed. Have you noticed that people who ask the most questions actually do the least amount of hustling?
Yes.
I've noticed there's some people I've watched for years. The people who ask the most questions do the least amount of hustling. Yeah, there's someone who keeps popping up like a gopher in all these groups asking all these questions, and it's going on 2.5 years. That's like, so that made me stop doing that, because I want someone to get the information. What we're going to do is have hustler conferences. It'd be like conference calls, because I got this new thing that's called actually I got it open. No, it's not on the. Yeah, Uber conference. I can do 100 people, and it can call in, folks can talk, and it's really really cool. So I'm gonna start doing those. But the whole thing about this is to get people started to do something, because as long as you're talking about it, as long as you're reading books, as long as you're asking questions, you're not gonna make any money. And that's the whole thing about all of these products, because it's kind of fun, like leaving tasks that I know are going to freak people out, because I'm going to do this with the 50 laws of hustling. There will be some tasks in there that'll be real crazy. I love this shit. I mean, I think 30 days to $2,500 was one of the best things I ever did in my life, because I got to ask questions, I got to create tasks, and with 50 laws of hustling, it's different stuff. It is different stuff, real different stuff. So then I haven't even talked about the other courses, but I'm going to kind of finish up some stuff, get everything straightened up, get people moved where they need to be moved. But there will be stuff dropping pretty much every week, every other week, the rest of the year, except for the last 2 weeks. I'm not doing nothing. I decided in the last 2 weeks of the year, I'm pretty much not doing anything.
Take it easy.
No, I'm probably going somewhere, but I won't be working. I'm planning for 2015 already. I'm already working on stuff for 2015. Because I get this stuff done, that's going to be quite a bit. And then I've held off on the podcast because, I mean, it's enough going on right now with YouTube. At some point there will be a podcast, but I want to do it differently, because I don't want to do it like, hey, here's a podcast every week, whatever. It's just going to be really different, really different stuff. So more like event type stuff. As I go through this, I have to keep notes, because I've got notes all over my desk. All over this. What's going on with you, other than you working full time for part time money?
Let's see. Planning. I'm looking into and hopefully planning. Looking at 6 months from now, I want to be able to be selling coffee. Um, I'm getting some blends created and going to market that and sell that. But that is like step one to the, well, there's only like 2 steps to that, because
Okay.
I want to actually eventually do the roasting and make the coffee itself.
Okay, you want to be a creator. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, because, I mean, honestly, as much as I love reselling, there's nothing really creative about it.
Nope,
I
not
mean,
really.
unless you're writing books about it and stuff, and eventually, yeah, I do want to write a few books, just for no other reason than to say I'm an author.
I mean,
So,
it does open up a lot of doors for you. I cannot even tell you how many doors that stuff opens up, man. I mean, seriously, because I mean, there's a lot of people writing books and everyone talks about it, but there are more people getting worthless degrees, as Aaron Clary says, than writing books.
right.
More people come out of school with degrees than folks writing books. So I don't know about that. I would definitely look into it, because you can really change your life with writing a book.
And I love the idea of writing that book, and then 5 years from now, when all the hype has died down, somebody can still buy that book and
Yep.
don't have to do nothing about it, and you get paid. So, I mean, I love the concept of it. I only have, like, right now 2 ideas of books I want to write, but I'm writing stuff down and, just trying to brainstorm when I have extra time.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing about writing books, it can be anything. You can. I have a friend that wrote a book about dominoes, playing dominoes,
Awesome.
and that actually is her best-selling book.
Really?
Yep. Yeah.
I would not imagine that.
Because the thing is, all right. You got to look at the math of the United States of America. Just you can sell. She's selling books all over the place, but there is 330 million people here.
Hmm.
So that's a lot of freaking people. And that's just now. There will be more as folks are born. So you only need a handful to become wealthy.
Right.
You really only need a handful to become wealthy. I'm in there looking in my Create Space dashboard. I'm really not selling a lot of print books, but they still sell, like you just said. They still sell,
I,
even
I
when
I was actually arguing with my mom about that the other day, because she wants me to finish a book I started like forever ago. Was basically about labeling teens and what effect that has on them.
right.
Um, and she says, but I don't want you to do that as an ebook, Jake. I just think it's too good for that. And I'm like, okay, number one, you're my mom. You have to say that.
Okay.
But number two, uh, more people buy ebooks than print.
Oh, hands down.
I mean, there's just no way around that. So why would I not make it an ebook? You know what I mean? I don't know. But
Well, I will say something that's funny. Certain authors with book deals, they actually sell maybe half their books in hardbacks. But the thing is, it's really about distribution. That's the real name of that game. Say you get this publishing contract, and this publisher's locked in with Walmart. They're locked in with Target and all the bookstores. But there's another place that sells a lot of books and no one talks about it. Every time you go to the airport, what do you see from all of these kiosks? All these best-selling books. That's what it's like. Hey, I'm on this plane. I have nothing to do. I got a layover. They'll buy a book. That's where they sell a ton of freaking books in the airports. And it's weird because as the population gets older, I really just see that. I see a day of going to the airport and you won't see those books. You'll see a few. Like there's this one, like you walk in and there's just these walls of books. It's just going to be, instead of a shelf here, it's going to be a shelf here. And then it's just going to be a shelf there. That's what's going to happen
right.
because as people become more comfortable with ebooks, it's like, why am I going to buy that book? Only reason I buy print books is if there's an ebook for like $7, $8, and then I can get the print book for $4. I can wait. I can wait, and that cracks me up. I know I'm not the only one that does that. And some people, they have to have it now. They have to have it now. So this is kind of funny. It gets real interesting. Really, really interesting. Somebody else is coming in the room. Yeah. Yeah, because like I said, I was just sitting here going to talk about the 50 laws of hustling, just put some stuff out, and at some point I'm going to do more of these hangouts, but I'm going to do them in the morning.
Yeah. Like
Because
at
I'm
3 o'clock in the morning when we should
no,
be
no,
awake.
no, more like 10 o'clock in the morning because
Oh, okay.
yeah, if you notice, I really don't do stuff at night anymore. Once
Right.
again, 30 laws, 30 days for $2,500. Most attendance I've ever had on any webinars ever, and it was right smack in the middle of the day. But I got a lot of business owners or people who own their own business. That's kind of the group I'm going after because if you still got a job. I mean, I want you to think about it. You got your job, right? You want to hustle, but your job, you work 8, 10 hours a day. Then you got to go home, work on your hustle, and oh yeah, listen to me for an hour. That gets hard. That gets really, really hard. Oh, wait a minute. Let's throw in 2.5 kids.
Right.
I think that's the reason that it's taken some people 4 or 5 months to get through 30 days to 2,500. That's the kind of life they have. So that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna sign off, and there'll be more. What is it? Tomorrow's Friday. There might be a video tomorrow, but I doubt it because I got a lot of stuff to do. But I'm gonna release that 50 Laws of Hustling, and then start on next week's stuff.
Right on.
All right, man. Good talking to
All
you.
right. You too.
See you later.
See ya.